Hi friend, it is Terrific Tuesday and I hope that you are well. You got a good rest on Monday night and you didn't almost set the place ablaze like I did. Let's get into it. Hi friend, welcome back to the Lexi Talk. I hope everybody is well this morning. It is a terrific Tuesday here when I'm filming this video. And I just, I had to get on to, I gotta adjust this just a little bit. There we go. You can see me. And I was watching back some of my old videos this morning. So that was fun. The growth from January 5th when I started till now is just tremendous. My studio space and everything, just tremendous. So it's good to look back. And so I'm going to go back and like put thumbnails and add tags and do things on those videos to give them a little resurgence. So we're going to do that. But today, I don't know how long I'm going to have to film. Right now in my world, it is 8:17 a.m. My daughter has to be to work at 9 a.m. So, came in to do a little bit. I wanted to get an early start this morning. I just had so many things to do. I got up early, took a shower, lubed and oiled and lotioned and potioned myself and got dressed. Yesterday it was 66 degrees, I believe, was the high, or 68. It's 44 degrees this morning, so we've taken a 20-plus dive in temperatures. And it will probably be like that the next few. Tomorrow morning it's going to be in the 30s. So today I've got my hoodie and my thumb t-shirt on, my thumb hole t-shirt on under this, my leggings on. And so yeah, I didn't have to wear a jacket yesterday. Today I'm going to probably put on a vest over this, a down vest and a hat because I don't have hair now. So, I don't want my head get cold. Then tomorrow in the 30s, I will have on a full winter coat. So, it's not time to put things away, even though we want to, spring is springing. But spring came a little too early this year. It came in March. My AC has been on since March, early March. And so that's a little troubling because what is summer going to look like for us? I've already had my AC on blast, on 67 degrees blasting because we can't sleep at night. It gets so hot in here. This place doesn't have ceiling fans. So, yeah. Like, oh my goodness. So yeah, it's a little chilly. So that's why I'm with the hoodie today again. With the hoodies that, I think Nancy loves this hoodie. This is a Giant hoodie. And from the Giant company. And it says Giant on it. And it's starting to be like a Giant hoodie on me now because I've lost weight. So you can see, it's big on me. And everything. But when I first got it, it wasn't. It barely fit. And it's not as giant as they say. They show all the little girly pops wearing them and they're like all the way down to like practically their damn knees and they're so big and whatnot. No, it's not like that. At least this one isn't. So today, not sure what we're speaking on today. I had an idea that my sweet Nancy and I were talking yesterday and we had an idea to do a video, and I decided to do one on how I stay positive in unsettling times, and that'll probably be a video that I do later on today. I'll film that later today when I get back because I've got to get all my notes together. But today, for right now, I really don't know. I just wanted to come on and say hi, I just want to come on and see my peeps, see my beautiful friend, see you, friend. In the background, yes, you see me over Yappy. I am on one of Zoe's platforms, on her Tego platform. She has two YouTube platforms, Tego's the one that she films on, and she has another one. So I watch my videos on those platforms and like them, so I can get my watch time hours and my likes, because she doesn't watch my videos. Let's face, she's not here. So that's why you see me there, watching myself. Let's see, did I like this video? Yes, I did. And I try to give me all the likes. So please, since I said that, please like these videos. That really pushes my content out in the algorithm, and I appreciate that so much, especially now that we are over 163 subscribers. So we're moving on up. I was watching my first video back, and it was so, oh, I loved it. I loved it so much. And the growth that I've had from then. And back then, I was not saying, you know what I mean? So I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from. I never used to say that. And then all of a sudden that kind of creeped into my videos. Go figure. But it's a staple now. It's a staple. And yes, if you've watched the last couple, you've noticed that I haven't really said that at all. I'm trying to clear out my throat chakras and everything. But, you know, it's a part of me now. And when we get to the point where we have merch on this channel, guess what it will be? You know what I mean. That will be my merch, most definitely. Most definitely. So Yappy and I are here. If you're new here, welcome in. My name is Alexis. This is the beautiful, beautiful Yappy, my support chihuahua, my cohort here on this platform on YouTube. You'll most likely never see me without Yappy here, unless we're doing a live and we're in vertical. Then I will pop her in to say hi. But Yappy's always here. She was not in the first videos. So if you go back to episode 1, there was no Yappy. And then as we got into episode, I'm not sure if it was in the teens or so, is when Yappy was shining bright, but I was not really introducing her until probably the 40s, maybe, episode in the 40s. So go back and watch. Go back and check those out. They're fun. I'm going to add, like I said, some thumbnails and things to those videos too, and make them pop a little bit. And my friends here all call me Lexi. And some of my friends here, in particular, who coined me that, the beautiful Althea Grace, Soul Whisperer, when she was on live with my beautiful soul sister Ange, Sexy Lexi, and then the incomparable Early Ritual, Mr. Tom, kind of changed that to Sexy with an I to match Lexi. So it is Sexy with an I. And the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Miss Indigo Jaguar, aka Heather, and my beautiful, beautiful sister from another mister, Nancy, a Crohn's Intuition, coined me Luscious Lexi. So yes, and then, because there's more, and there's more. The beautiful, beautiful, oops, I've got to get her new channel because I never know it. The beautiful 9 Worlds Intuitive Tarot, Miss Kristen Louise. I got to get that in my head now. She was formerly Kristen Louise Tarot. Now she is 9 Worlds Intuitive Tarot, and I love that name. She coined me Lascivious Lexi in the chat the other night. So last night, they did a live together. Nancy, a Crohn's Intuition, Indigo Jaguar, Heather, and 9 Worlds Intuitive Tarot, Kristen Louise. And so when I popped in, and this is before hilarity ensued in my kitchen. If you all saw that short I posted last night, if you didn't see it, you need to go back and watch it. I'm going to post here. I'm going to post a picture here. So you can see what happened. But anyway, I got in the chat and I said, tired, sexy, luscious, lascivious Lexi is here. So I can't remember who it was in the chat that said, ow, that means lewd. And I'm like, yes, but it also means lustful, you know. So we go with it. We're going with it, honey. There's nothing negative. She didn't mean it in a negative connotation. So yes, so we will have that here. Lascivious Lexi, aka Lustful Lexi. I think it's amazing. Let's see how many monikers I get on these videos as time goes on. Because right now we've got Alexis, which is my actual name. Lexi, which is my nickname. Sexy Lexi, which is my new moniker here. Luscious Lexi, another new moniker. Lascivious Lexi, and my family call me Lex. So that's 6 different names that we have here on this platform. I'm here for it all. Okay, I gotta click like. I'm on episode 31 now. Patience is not my virtue. So, I love watching these videos back to see how I looked. Even my face is smaller now in just this little bit of time. You know, that I've lost over 115 pounds. It's just amazing. It's amazing to see the transformation and the change. And like I said in previous videos, you know, I make one of my videos, you know, I make videos that nobody watches at 60 years old. And that was an emotional video for me to make. But also the reason for that video was I'm leaving a footprint here on this platform. You know, I've got my messages from my mommy. You need to go watch that back. I think that's in the 80s, one of the 80s episodes. And when I had my medical call yesterday, I have a medical call once a month on a Monday. And when I had that call yesterday, and my nurse, her name is Kara. Hi, Kara, if you're watching. And I did a video speaking about her in episode 90, I think it was, and I told her about it. And she's like, oh, no. So I've got to text her, too, today. And I told her yesterday about the beautiful sumo oranges. You know, they're only here for a very short time, between January and March, basically. Zoe and I got a bunch. And the uglier, the sweeter they are. And they have a nipple on top. And I had asked my beautiful sister, Ange, I was eating one while I was talking to her one day. And I asked her, had she ever seen one? But I had already peeled it, so I couldn't show her the full orange. And I should have brought one here as a prop to show you all the full orange. I'll pop one up. And, but they are the best oranges. They come from Japan. They are the best oranges. And somebody asked me yesterday, where do they come from? And I, you know, had a brain fart. And then we looked it up and like, Japan. I'm like, yes, they come from Japan. And they are so delicious and sweet. But the skins on them, they have a very thick orange peel. And it's wrinkly. You know, it looks ugly and has the big nipple on top. You know, and everybody's like, I'm not buying that. But they are the sweetest, most delicious oranges. And I got turned on to those years ago by one of the girly pops here on YouTube, Miss Remy Ashton Cruz. She used to eat sumo oranges all the time. And she is also Asian. And she would eat those all the time. And I'm like, oh, I need to try those. We need to find those. And Zoe and I finally did a couple years ago, and we love them so much. But it's such a short window, just like when you get the pomegranates. You know, it's such a short window, but they're so delicious. So I hope you tried them, Kara. I hope you were able to find them yesterday. I want to read something today also from our Helen Steiner Rice calendar. This is for April 8th. And it says, springtime is a season of hope and joy and cheer. There's beauty all around us to see and touch and hear. I love that. I love that. And she says, today, take time to value the ability to see or to touch, hear, smell, or taste. I'm going to read that again. Today, take time to value the ability to see or touch, hear, smell, and taste. I love that. I love that so much. Because we take for granted that we have these senses. We have these 5 senses. There are a lot of people that don't have these senses. There are people who are living with long haul COVID from the pandemonium who lost their sense of smell and taste and it's never come back. Can you imagine that? You can't eat foods. You can't taste anything. You can't smell. These senses are very vital to smell. My God, if something's burning, segue into what happened yesterday, which I'm going to put up here. Yeah, I'm just, I was on a call with two of my beautiful soul sisters here on a video chat. And during that time, I was cooking. And so that was fine. Nothing was going awry at that time. And I have a rice cooker, and it's an old rice cooker. I got it back in maybe 2016 or so, when I was getting my, no. I probably got it in 2015, before I finished my master's degree, because I was getting student loans and I had the money, because I didn't work from 2014 to 2018. I had no income for those 4 years. No income at all. Zilch, zap, zippo. No income. I should have been on here at that time. I had no income. And so, but everything happens in divine timing and for a reason. So I'm here now. And so I bought that rice cooker then. And I am an expert rice cooker. I don't need a rice cooker to make rice. That's one of the specialties. And whenever we would have family gatherings, they're always, Lex, you have to bring the rice. And my rice that I make, my specialty rice, is seasoned rice, or arroz con gandules. And that is rice, Puerto Rican rice, and rice that we eat, in the Virgin Islands, in the islands. And it's with peas, it's with pigeon peas, and it's different from like other countries. Like Jamaica has their own peas and rice, but they make it with coconut milk and different peas. It's totally different from that. This is definitely a Puerto Rican version. Mine is a Puerto Rican version of rice. And so I've mastered that. I learned how to cook that rice when I was like a teenager. So I have mastered that. And whenever we go anywhere, it's like, Lex, can you bring the rice? And even in my regular rice, white rice, and I always cook either short grain or medium grain Puerto Rican rice. That's what I cook. I don't use long grain rice like Uncle Ben's and that. That's something that my mother used to cook when I was a kid, because my mother was not a rice cooker. And that rice is forgiving and easy to cook. My rice is very good. Flaky rice, delicious rice, not clumpy like pudding, because everybody cannot cook rice. And if I'm coming to your house and you decide to make rice and you can't cook rice, don't make it. Because I am going to judge you. I am. So while that was going, I had the rice cooker on. I had made an Instant Pot full of black beans, dried black beans, last week. And so I had put some of those away. So I had taken them out, and I was going to eat those with the rice. And I had some ground beef left over from a previous meal from the previous day. So I was going to put those together, and that was going to be my OMAD for yesterday. So I'm on this call, and yesterday I was exhausted because I did my 6 a.m. sunrise with Rain, the beautiful spiritual Rain Francis and I. We do every Monday morning at 6 a.m. And this upcoming Monday, April 14th, will be hosted on my channel. So, and if I could figure that all out, we'll be there at 6 a.m. So, yeah. We'll discuss that later. I got to learn stuff. I got to know how to hook it up and do it and all of that. And I'll get to that this week. I already asked my child to help me. She's like, yeah, I'll show you, but that's not happening. So, my soul sister Ann, she's always on top of things. She's already showed me, so she's going to have to re-show me. So I can get it together. Get it together, Lexi. So after the call was over, I go in the kitchen. My rice was done. So I put my rice, I had the rice pot in the middle of my stove, right? I had it plugged in close to my stove. And I had taken out a small pan to cook the beans in on top, to heat them up on top of the stove. I didn't want to heat them up in the microwave. I was going to heat up my meat in the microwave, which I should have just heated that up on the stove too. But I'm like, yeah, that's doing too much. I want to clean the kitchen and wash dishes and stuff. So I'm going to heat that up in the microwave so I can wash that pan out and do all that stuff. So I set the rice cooker on the burner on the stove, on the back burner on the stove, and I put the small pot with my beans in it on the front burner, on a small burner. So I turn it on, and I'm just there like, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, you know, getting ready to heat up my meat, and I'm doing all this stuff, washing dishes, doing all this stuff, and I smell something. I'm like, well, my bean pot, it's not my beans. They're not even hot. I turned on the wrong burner. So I turned on the burner that was under the freaking rice cooker. So that melted the whole bottom of my rice cooker. The whole, everything came out. You'll see. And go back to that short that I posted yesterday, April 7th. Oh, you'll see it. That short, last time I checked, it had over 200 views on that short. I couldn't believe I did that. I was like, what the fuck? And Ma'am ran. Ma'am was like, oh, I ain't got no parts of this. Because she's like my shadow. When I'm in the kitchen, she's there right up under me, laying in the kitchen. She's right there. When that happened, and you could smell that rubber and that plastic, not rubber, but the plastic was the hard plastic casing on the bottom of the rice cooker that housed the mechanism and all the electric components that turn on and cook in the rice cooker. Mind you, it was still plugged in, so I'm a miracle it didn't blow up. And it was still on and still running. I could probably still use it, but it doesn't stand up anymore because the whole bottom burnt out and the mechanism is all out. I needed a new rice cooker anyway, but, you know, and really I don't. I could just cook rice. But I'm like, what? I was so upset about that. I couldn't believe I did some dumb shit like that. And that why? Because I was tired. I got on yesterday morning with Rain. I got up at 5 a.m. to prepare because our show comes on at 6. And then after that, we got off about 7:45-ish or so. So after that, I had my call at 8 a.m. with Nurse Kara. And we talked for probably, I don't know how, it wasn't a long conversation, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. I don't even think it was that long at all because she's got other calls and clients to talk to. So we weren't on that long. Everything was, you know, boom, 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 boom. As soon as I finished with Nurse Kara, it was time to take Zoe to work. So I took Zoe to work. And then I got back home and proceeded to film my video. Now, Zoe had to be to work at 9, and we got her there early. I was back in the house. Oh, no, I take that back. No, she did not. She goes to work at 9 this morning. She had to be to work at 4:30, at 4 o'clock yesterday. So, no, I didn't have to take her yesterday morning. So, after Nurse Kara, I got on the phone. I mean, I did get on the phone, on this phone. Hi, friend. I got on here, Yappy and I, and we did our video yesterday so that I could get it up before I had to leave to take Zoe to work. And then after that, I think I had a phone call and everything. So I was just doing stuff and I never took a nap. Now, last Monday, our very first sunrise show was at 4 a.m. my time. And not realizing at all that Rain and I are an hour difference. So it was really 5 a.m. her time, 4 a.m. my time. But she gets up at 4 a.m. She has 5 dogs and she has a little cat, Oscar. And so she gets up and she walks her hooligans, as she calls them, and does things around, you know, in the morning. But I don't get up at 4 a.m. I do not. Sometimes I'm going to bed at 4 a.m., truth be told. So getting up last week, I had to get up at 3 a.m. because it was 4 a.m. my time, not her time. So I had to get up at 3. And I couldn't handle it. Was to have a meeting last Monday and everything. I had to postpone that meeting for 2 hours because I had to take a nap. I couldn't. And I did take a little nap and I was just out of it. So I don't like taking naps because it just makes me out of it. But since Zoe had to work yesterday, Zoe doesn't usually work on Mondays. But since she had to work yesterday, I had to take her in the afternoon. So there was no way for me to take a nap because I just had so many things going on. And by the time I was finally done with posting my video and all of that, it was like, I think 3 in the afternoon probably or so. A little after that, maybe, or around there. And we had to leave at 3:45 to get her to work. So there was no time for a nap. You know, I would have just been so off kilter. And so I never took one. And I was so exhausted last night. And I'm still exhausted. I'm sure you could see it. I'm still tired. But I did go to bed last night at 10. I did not keep my TV on. I came back here, got myself ready for bed, turned off my television, and got my ass in the bed. And I think I was in the bed before 10 p.m. I do. I think I was in bed before 10 p.m. 9 something, 9:45, 9:50, something around there. And I went to sleep. And I slept for the most part. I woke up at 2 something this morning. And I just woke up. And I got up. I had a sip of water and went to the bathroom. I said, well, I might as well go to the bathroom while I'm up. Because I wasn't going to. I was just going to lay back down. I'm like, I'll go to the bathroom. And I got up and I went to the bathroom. And then I got back in the bed and went to sleep. And I woke up again at maybe 6 this morning, or 5 something maybe, or 6. And Lexi's still going back there with Yappy and my other pink hydro jug. Oh, I didn't bring it over. It's over there. My hot pink one, which I need to switch out and bring that one back. And I need to send that to the beautiful Althea Grace, Soul Whisperer, about the hydro jug. It's listed in my description. Althea, if you're watching, it's down below. But I kept saying I was going to send it to you, and I didn't. So I need to do that today. I need to write myself a note about that as I'm speaking about it. So, yeah. So I did get sleep. I woke up early, and I was going to get right in the shower at 6. But I'm like, no, I made up my bed and said my Sonia Choquette prayer that I do every day here. And I gave you all just the mini version of it yesterday. And the mini version is, Divine Spirit within me, move me in the direction of my highest good this day. This day. And then you say thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Yes, thank you. The bill collectors are on the case. They're calling me already. Yeah. I did not pay one of my credit cards. I totally forgot it. And then I ran out of the money to pay it. So they're going to be late. So they're calling me. They call me all the time. I have the bill collectors. Zoe and I, during the pandemonium, have gotten so many credit cards. Between the two of us, we probably had about 50 credit cards. And I'm not even joking. But we had the money and we were paying our bills. I pay my bills on time like clockwork. But then after Mommy passed, things just went awry. We didn't have the extra income that we had in our home. Our nuclear family of my mother Jewel, myself, and my daughter Zoe, sandwich generation, was me, taking care of my senior mother and my child. And my mother was the glue that kept us together here, financially at that time. And Zoe was working. And I had finally was getting disability. So the bills, the credit cards were coming in. I was rebuilding my credit. Everything was going fabulous. And then when Mommy died, the bottom just fell out. The bottom just totally fell out. And we didn't have that extra money. And Mommy had a very small life insurance policy that she left us. And we used that to get some of the things that we needed here and stuff. And it was very tiny. So it wasn't enough to pay off all the bills and everything so we wouldn't have any. There was nothing for that. I mean, one bill would have taken up that, it was just small and we needed things. And we were trying to set ourselves up so that, everything would be okay in the coming weeks. But then Zoe lost her job. And so things just started happening for us. And that year, 2021 and 2022, were some of really the lean years for us. We couldn't do grocery shopping. Food here was very scarce. We ate a lot of ramen. Well, I ate a lot of ramen. Zoe doesn't eat ramen. She ate a lot of macaroni and cheese cups probably. And I ate a lot of ramen when we could afford those. And I couldn't have meat. I'm a carnivore. We couldn't afford to buy meat. We could afford at that time eggs. And, just the basic necessities were hard to keep here. Toilet paper, paper towel. Paper towel's not a necessity, but toilet paper is. you know, and the things that we need as women, you know, different products and things. So it was very hard for us during those 2 years. And then Zoe ended up getting the job that she's at now, that she's been at for the last 3 years. And that kind of turned things around a little bit for us. But we're still struggling, you know, still struggling. And now that we are trying to really practice abundance and not having that lack mindset at all. You know, we're just really coming out of it, you know, and saying this. I got into that all to say this prayer, Sonia Choquette, has changed my life. The abundance that has come into us every single day that I have said this prayer, miraculous. It is miraculous. And I'm getting ready to start. I'm on a study program with one of my soul sisters here. We're studying the Book of Boundaries and the Let Them Theory books. So we're in the process of reading the first 2 chapters. I've gone over those books here in my videos, but I've not read them from cover to cover. I've read certain chapters so that I can discuss here. But now we are reading the book from cover to cover, which I have not started the first 2 chapters yet of each book. And I have to have them read by Friday. So that's something that I have to do, which I was going to do yesterday, but I couldn't. I was just too exhausted. But another book that's on the agenda for me is this book, Sonia Choquette, Ask Your Guides. And I'm looking so forward to getting into this book. I dived into a little bit yesterday, and it is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. And I love it. I love it so much. So, yeah, we're going to get into that. So anyway, that's it for me today. You know, just a little Lexi talk. Let me leave you with some self-love from our Everyday Positive Thinking, Louise Hay and Friends, the beautiful Louise Hay. And this says, care for your body. Self-love and self-acceptance are the ultimate acts of self-care. And I'm going to post it here. Isn't that beautiful? It's so beautiful. Yes, we need to care for our bodies. Self-love and self-acceptance are the ultimate acts of care, of self-care. And I spoke about that yesterday. Looking in the mirror and saying your mantras, you know, and I love you. I love you. And I'm proud of you. Say that to yourself. Like I say to you every day, I love you. I love you. I see you, and I'm so proud of you, friend. And I thank you for honoring me with your time here in this space. You know, Yappy and I are so honored that you're here, and we're so grateful to you. So on that note, deuces, baby! Have the most terrific Tuesday. But as our beautiful Miss Tabitha Brown says, even if you can't, don't go around messing up anybody else's. You hear? Don't mess up anybody else's. If you're feeling like crap today, go on Sedong. Don't mess up anybody else's day. Okay? All right. Love you plenty. Until next time, friend.